So if you're thinking about buying a foreclosure and want to know what that means and how to do it, please join us on the Real Estate Finder channel. Welcome back to the channel. This is the Real Estate Finder YouTube video series. We also do a podcast, and we're on social media everywhere. You can find us, Matthew Maschler with Signature Real Estate Finder. Also, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. That's my other channel. Check that out, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. It's a lot of fun if you've never seen it. But today we're here not to talk about wrestling, to talk about foreclosures. Let's talk about what the word means, a foreclosure, right? When somebody buys a house, they don't usually buy it for cash because most people can't afford to fully pay for a house, right? Then they need to take a loan. The bank issues the loan to the buyer of the house. The buyer is the borrower. The bank is the lender. The buyer is the borrower. They sign a promissory note. And in that promissory note, they promise to repay the bank certain payments, depends on the interest and the monthly payments, and that's all defined in the promissory note. To enforce the promissory note, the buyer of the house signs a mortgage. The mortgage gives the bank the right to foreclose on the house if the buyer doesn't pay. So as long as the buyer's paying, the bank has nothing to do with the house. They have no rights to the house, cannot enter the house, tell you what to do with the house, paint the house, as long as the buyer's paying. But if the buyer is not paying, if the buyer fails to make their mortgage payments every month, the bank can sue for default on the loan. They can sue the buyer, and that lawsuit is called a foreclosure. And the foreclosure is the instrument the bank can use to seize the home, force the sale of the home to pay off the loan. Everyone's familiar with the example of a car being repossessed by the bank. There are actually some great television shows about this. You don't make the payments on your car. The tow truck comes, they try to repossess the car. Same thing with the bank repossessing the house and auctioning it off at a sheriff's sale. That lawsuit, that paper instrument that the buyer signed at the closing, becomes the instrument in the foreclosure lawsuit for repossession of the house by the bank. And that is a foreclosure. The lawsuit is called a foreclosure. When someone says to you that they want to buy a foreclosure, they don't want to buy a lawsuit. They want to buy a house that's in foreclosure, that's subject to the lawsuit. Now, why in the world would anyone want to buy a house that's in foreclosure? You may not want to get yourself into some kind of mess that the borrower is leaving for the bank. I've seen houses left in great condition, pristine condition, and I've seen houses that are totally trashed. So if you want to buy a foreclosure, you're taking the risk of getting that house in any kind of condition, including occupied, and then you bought a foreclosure. Now you have to do an eviction. Why would a bank sell a house under market? Are banks stupid? No. So they would sell a house under market if it needs to be fixed up, but then that's really market, right? Because if it needs to be fixed up, that has to be added to the price of the house. An investor would come in, fix it up, and sell it. That's why an investor often buys foreclosures. They're really not buying foreclosures, they're buying properties that are foreclosed on. When the property is in foreclosure, that's very different than after the foreclosure sale when the property is owned by the bank. That's called REO, real estate owned. Some people who want to buy a foreclosure want to bid at the foreclosure auction. Some people who want to buy a foreclosure want to buy the debt from the bank and finish the lawsuit. And some people who want to buy a foreclosure want to buy property that's already been through the foreclosure process and it's owned by the bank, REO. So those are three different stages of the foreclosure process that if you're one of my agents, you have to understand, or any agent if you're a real estate agent, when someone says that they want to buy a foreclosure, you have to understand which of those three stages they're looking to buy. Are they looking to buy the loan from the bank and foreclose on a particular property? Are they looking to buy a house that's in foreclosure, go to the foreclosure sale and bid, be a registered bidder? And I've done that, and I'm very old. So when I used to go to the foreclosure sales, I used to go in person and there'd be people there and bidding it up. Obviously it's 2025, almost 2026. Could be 2030 when you're watching this, who knows? But now all the foreclosure sales are done online, which is actually a lot harder for people who want to buy at foreclosure sale, because now you're competing with people all over the country. There are people in New York and New Jersey online and bidding. So when someone says that they want to buy a foreclosure, do they want to buy at the foreclosure sale or do they want to buy bank owned? right? So there's a big difference with that. And buying a foreclosure sale can be tricky. You have to understand title because you don't know who's doing the foreclosure. There's so many complications with it. It's why you need an experienced real estate agent, a trusted advisor on your side, because I've seen situations where someone buys at foreclosure, but there's still another lien. There's IRS liens, there's other liens on the property, there's an HOA lien. That stuff doesn't go away in the foreclosure sale. Sometimes if the person who owns the house is behind on their HOA, the HOA could do a foreclosure, but there's still a whole bank loan in front of you. So what you got was nothing, right? You got the house, but you owe a ton of money on the house. Ultimately, when you break it down, what does it mean? This person who told me that they want to buy a foreclosure really wants to buy a house. They want to buy a house and they want to get a good deal for it. So we have to go back to the basics. Find out what they mean by foreclosure. Really, they want a good deal. Okay, I've done another video on how to get a good deal on real estate. I think I was wearing the actual same outfit, so check that out on YouTube. So find out what they want. What they really want is most probably they want to buy a house for a good price. Find out how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, what does it mean, what are they looking for. Really, when people come to me and say they want to buy a foreclosure, really they want a fantasy, right? They want to buy, they can afford $300,000 and they want to buy an $800,000 house or a $1.2 million house because they hear stories of this happening. And it can happen, but the people who are making money on this and really getting the best deals on foreclosures, they're the sophisticated investors who are going to the foreclosure sales, taking some risk, buying houses under market. And you ever hear the expression, you win some, you lose some? If they can make money out of 4 out of 5 of their investments, they don't brag about the one that they lost money on. So break it down, find out what they're looking for, or to the person that wants to buy the foreclosure, what do you want? Do you want a condo, a house? It's an investment property, primary residence, vacation house, how many bedrooms? Let's find out what you want to buy, what you can afford. We'll get you pre-approved with our favorite mortgage brokers. We'll find out what you want. We'll get you a great deal for it with Matthew Maschler, signature real estate agent. Any of our agents will help you out. We'll find you that great deal on a foreclosure. When someone says that they want to buy a foreclosure, they want to buy a house at a good price. And as a real estate agent, you want to help them. And as a customer, we want to help you. I hope this helped you with your dream of buying a foreclosure. Matthew Maschler, Signature Real Estate Finder. Our agents are standing by. We want to help you. Shout out to our friends at Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. If you've never been to the show, November Knockdown is coming up soon. Hope this video comes out before November. If not, in March of 2026, we have the birthday bash. It's going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate all of the people that help me out on my shows. And to them, if they're watching, bring your moms, bring your girlfriends. Let's get them in houses. We do rentals. We do houses of all prices at Signature Real Estate Finder. It's really bizarre to me when I find out from one of my colleagues or someone who helps me with my podcast or someone who helps me with the wrestling shows, oh, Matt, we didn't want to bother you because the house was only $400,000. What do you mean only $400,000? If you live in a $400,000 house, you are in one of the most expensive houses in the world. You are among the richest people in the world if you live in Florida in a $400,000 house. So always remember that. Always remember your blessings. I'm blessed every day. I want to share my blessings with you. We're going to find you great real estate at Signature Real Estate Finder. I hope you love these YouTube videos and podcasts that I make for you. If you have any questions, and you don't want to ask me directly, do it in the comments. I scroll through the comments to get ideas of what to talk about on these YouTube shows and on these podcast shows. So I really want to help you get the house of your dreams, whether it's a foreclosure, whether it's a real estate deal. So I will see you soon on these YouTube channels, on my podcasts, or maybe in person at Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.